Hi, it's Tanya Williams here, author of A Child-Free Happily Ever After. And I have another interview today with the
Mhm.
lovely Holly. Now, Holly is one of our contributors and has created a couple of great blogs for us. So if you haven't seen those, make sure you go to the website and check them out. Now, as you know, I'm doing this series called My Child-Free Why, and it's all about sharing the stories of child-free women because we all have different circumstances and all have different reasons why we don't want to have children. So, over to you, Holly. Can you introduce yourself for me?
So, well, my name is Holly. I am 33 years old. I am a classical musician, actually, an opera singer, to be more
That's so
specific.
cool.
Yeah. And I live in Rhineland-Pfalz, Germany, with my husband. And we moved here about a year ago. We love everything about it. We have 5 cats, we have a dog, and a horse. So
I love
definitely
it.
a
You've got your own little farm.
yeah.
So, Holly, can you share why it is that you did not want to have children?
Well, there are health reasons, and there are student loans, and
Mhm.
there is the fact that neither my husband nor I have ever had a strong desire to be parents,
Yeah,
and we think that being parents has to be something that you absolutely want above everything else. Otherwise, that's just it's not going to work out.
yeah.
And there's also that we are perfectly happy, and we have been perfectly happy for the 9 years that we've been married, and we don't see why we need to change any of it.
Yeah. Have you always known that you didn't want to have children?
Yes, it was something that we just both agreed on even back when we were dating, and that was one of the reasons why we got along so well because it was an argument, it wasn't a disagreement. It's, oh, you don't want to have kids? Well, I don't want to have kids either. This is great.
So it worked
So,
out
and
nice for you then.
yeah, of course, back then it was, all right, maybe when we're old enough, when we're stable, when we have no debts, well, it's been a while, and we decide we just like it the way things are right now.
Yeah,
So
awesome. Have you had much backlash or criticism from your family for your choice?
my family definitely. My husband's family has mostly accepted it, but my family, they're Chinese, they're kind of old-fashioned. So every disagreement, every argument ever since we got married would always inevitably end up with, when you have kids, you will understand.
Oh,
Not
that old chestnut.
when. Yeah, they still talk about me being a mom as if it's a done deal.
Yeah,
It's people get married, they have kids, that's what they do. That's the natural order of things.
yeah,
So, I would have to follow this inevitable predestined fate. In their mind, that's
yeah.
just what people do. That's just the way things are. And
Do you have siblings at all, Holly?
what?
Do you have siblings, brothers or sisters?
I do not.
Okay, so only
I do
child, therefore the pressure could be amplified a bit more because they want grandchildren, perhaps.
Perhaps, or it's just, what is wrong with you? Every woman has to be a mom. That's
Yeah,
that's what a woman is sent on this earth to do.
yeah,
It's, you should not be wasting this, and it's just, like I said, it's a very
yeah.
old school.
And look, unfortunately, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. That attitude seems to be, the predominant attitude, whether you're in the US, Germany, Asia, Australia, London, it doesn't matter. Like pretty much everywhere in the world, there's this preconceived notion of um, women should want to have children or should have children, like either or. If you don't want them, there's something wrong with you. And unfortunately, I mean, that's the way it is. But hopefully by having these conversations, we can, share that it's perfectly okay. We can be quite happy without them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you had any other negative challenges or issues that you've come across, whether it be career or life or just people in general, because of your choice not to have children?
Well, we have definitely run into people who assume that we must hate kids and
Hmm.
therefore we must be terrible people.
Yeah,
You know, and there are people who think, you know, we must be unhappy in our marriage because all happy couples want kids and want happy families. It's as if, you know, there is going to be something missing in our lives for us to not take this next step to complete this perfect picture of harmony in their minds. You
yeah,
know, it's like people think that in order to be happy as a married couple, you have to be parents. And
yeah.
if you become parents, it's just, there's just always going to be one step missing.
I think the thing is as well, and I've had someone say to me, well, why did you get married if you don't want to have children? I was like, I didn't realize that I couldn't get married if I didn't want to have children. Like, apparently that's supposed to be some sort of unwritten rule that the only reason you get married is to have children. I was like, that is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard. But I mean, that's, I suppose, how tradition like goes. As you meet someone, you get married, you have kids, you buy a house. Like, there's these steps that you're supposed to follow. And I think for people, for when people like us that choose not to follow them, unfortunately, other people have a hard time getting their head around the fact that it was like, well, we had to do it. Why don't you? You know?
Yeah, and it's also, you know, the talk among my husband's family often becomes, you know, I can't help but feel like any achievement we make in our lives will get overlooked, you know, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah,
as my husband's sisters with the 6 kids between them, they constantly get talked about, and there is nothing that I could be doing in my life that is as important.
yeah.
'Cause
Oh, I
I
can
often feel
totally
like,
relate to that.
yeah,
Absolutely does. Yeah,
I feel absolutely, you know, it's like at every family get together, I feel very left out. I feel
yeah,
ignored because I don't have my offsprings to brag about,
yeah.
and I don't have cute babies running around for people to dote on. And so I just sit there awkwardly and never have the conversation.
Yeah. No, I absolutely 100% relate to that exact issue, because exactly it's all about the kids and the grandchildren and everything that they're doing, no matter how little it might be, but we can do these amazing things and have these great things happen. And it's sort of like, oh, yeah, great, whatever. And it's sort of not acknowledged, like it would be if it was about a child. And that is hurtful, certainly, to know that
Yeah,
our
it's
life
like,
choices aren't that important for them.
yeah, you know, it's like I don't get any acknowledgments, I don't get any attention, you know, no
Yeah.
matter what I say, it's just not as important or not as interesting as, hey, look what my child did at school today. And then
Yeah. Okay, final question before we wrap up. What do you
Mhm.
love about being child free?
Well, the freedom, obviously.
Yeah,
I can do
especially at
what
the moment,
I want.
right?
Yeah, I can do whatever I want, go wherever I want, and as soon as the travel restrictions lift, I fully plan on just running around again. You know, I
Yeah,
can take off to a different country every weekend and not even have to plan about it.
yeah,
And the, I I absolutely I absolutely love that I can take advantage of everything the world has to offer without anything dragging me down, without anything getting in my way. And I can focus on my career, I can travel and perform, I can do all of that without guilt
yeah.
because I know that if I were to become a mom ever, you
There'd
know,
be a lot of things you'd have to give up, sacrifices you'd have to make.
yeah, it's either that or I'm gonna feel like I'm not doing enough for my child.
Yeah,
And that's just, and I don't want to end up resenting my child or my choice to have a child because that's not fair to them.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm just not willing to give up my life. I don't want to be a parent bad enough. And I feel like you have to really want it bad enough more than anything else in the world in order for it
Totally, Totally agree.
You know,
It's such a huge sacrifice that you have to want it with all of your being. Otherwise, to
yeah.
do it for the
People
wrong
don't
reasons
realize
and to
that, you
go,
know.
yeah, exactly, to go in sort of half,
Yeah,
oh yeah, maybe. It's too big a
yeah.
sin to do that.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, people don't realize that, and you know, they jump into it because that's what their parents did, that's what their friends did,
Yep.
and
They
that's
don't
what
realize
everybody
how
else
hard
is
it is.
doing. And then once they get into it, thinking, oh, you know, it's not gonna be a big deal, it's just another addition, you know. And then they realize, oh my gosh, you know, nothing is about me anymore. I can't
Yeah.
do anything anymore. I can't do anything for myself without feeling guilty. I can't enjoy my life because you know that people don't realize that, and then they end up becoming resentful, they end up becoming bitter, they end up blaming their child for it. And but it was because they didn't think this through,
Yeah.
whereas you know we actually thought this through, and we decided, you know, we don't want it badly enough to give up our identity, to give up ourselves, to give up our lives.
Yeah.
And
And that's a really good point, is you've got to want it badly enough to give up so much of what you know now. So yeah, I just think it's, you know, people need to be a bit more honest with themselves, I think, when they're going through this whole decision-making process.
yeah, and we're perfectly happy and no reason to change any of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. You know, I
You're
love
welcome.
hearing everyone's stories and what they're doing with their life and what they love about their child-free life and so forth, because we are all different. You know, we all have dreams and goals and aspirations and amazing things and experiences in our life that we have. They're just not children. And it's amazing when you speak to people. So many. I don't think I've ever spoken to a child-free person that isn't happy. Against, you know, popular opinion of you mustn't be happy if you don't have children. So I think, you know, the more we can get these types of stories out there and we can share them to the rest of the world, and people can see, hey, this is quite normal and we're happy and everything's great, then hopefully we can start to change the conversation that's happening in society.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for interviewing me.
Thank you, Holly. I will no doubt talk to you very soon.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good one.
Bye.